Hi, Michael Cheney on GetMomentumTV.com, helping you get what you want in no time, every time. On today's episode, we're talking about reading. Don't switch off, okay? Don't switch off, because statistics say that around 58% of people never read another book after actually leaving school. 58%! That is scary. The other statistics that I've found say that 80% of families have not bought or read a book in the past year. No wonder so many people are not successful and being wealthy, because leaders are readers. The more you read, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you earn. It's as simple as that. You need to start reading if you want to be serious about being successful and getting wealth into your lives. If you read one book a week, that's 50 books a year, or even 52 if you read one every single week of the year. Let's just say 50, right? Because my maths is rubbish. 50 books a year. If you read a book a week every year for 10 years, even I know that is 500 bucks. 500 bucks, and most people don't even read a single book a year. So in 5 years from now or 10 years from now, you're going to be way ahead of the competition. Now you might be thinking, why should I bother reading a book? It's going to take me forever. I can't read. I don't recognise what words are. I've been brought up on text messages and TV. I used to be the same. I'll put my hand up in the air and confess to you, I used to be exactly the same. When I first started out in business, things were going well. I was kind of been a bit of a chancer and saying, oh yeah, no, I can get this. I've got this down. And then suddenly, business started to take a dive like this. Started to get really, really bad. And, I was coming up to the wire basically, and I realised that I had to try and learn from other people that had already been through this journey and try and get from them some kind of success formula or some nugget of knowledge or information. And that's what successful people do. They turn to others. If they have questions, they try and find the answers in a book. And that's exactly what I did. One of the first books that I read since, leaving school and leaving university is the book called The E-Myth by Michael Cheney, which taught me a massive amount about running a business. I bought that book, changed the business, turned the whole thing around, and started going on the up and up again. Since then, I've started reading voraciously. I try and read as much as I can. I've gone through a speed reading course to try and increase the speed at which I can read. I've even gone through the book Think and Grow Rich. I managed to read that in 2 hours and actually retain everything within there. Now, how can you do this? Because, I know it's a big thing to say you've got to read a book a week. Start with a thin book. That's the thing. Or read half a book. Or just read, a chapter a day. Or read a page a day. Whatever you can do on a daily basis, that is what's going to work for you. I'm a really big believer in this idea of chunking it down into a day. Whatever you can fit into a day, that's what you're going to be able to repeat time and time again. So if it's a chapter, if it's a page, if it's a paragraph, I don't even care if it's a sentence. Okay? Today, I want you to take the time to read one sentence or a paragraph from a book that is going to help you. Because books help you. The more you learn, the more you earn. It's that simple. I've got ideas from books worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. No BS, seriously. Things I wouldn't have been able to do and the money I wouldn't have been able to bring into my life unless I'd actually read those books. So I've got to tell you, make sure you start reading and make it part of your daily routine, your weekly routine, to actually set time aside and do that. It's better than watching TV. You're actually growing your earning potential. When you put on that TV, your earning potential is going down. You're numbing your mind. You're learning nothing. You're not going to earn any more money after watching, Desperate Housewives or, the latest episode of Lost, right? But if you spend that time reading a book on business or success or personal development or how to have a better health, better relationships, become a better leader, a better communicator, or a better speaker, all those things, right, you're going to actually improve who you are as a person. And the success that you want in your life is dictated by who you become. If you become a successful person, you will attract that success and that money to you, but only when you grow in stature and knowledge and expertise. And the only way to do that, or one of the key ways to do that, is actually to read. Okay, so that's today's episode. I want you to spend some time reading. If you haven't got a book, okay, go and buy a book. Go and find a book. Go and borrow a book. Go and, ask someone, read over someone's shoulder on the train or whatever. I don't care how you do it, but go and find that book and start reading on a daily basis. The other thing I want to say on this before we finish is that when you read, make notes in the margins. Some people get a bit religious about this and say, oh no, don't fold pages on a book. Don't write on a book. Yes, write on a book. I want you to tear it, score on it, different highlighters, different pens, things, ideas that occur to you as you're going through, underline certain bits. Fold the pages on those pages that you've actually made your specific notes. And then at the end, when you finish the book, you go through and you'll be able to zoom to that page and see where your specific thoughts were when you were reading that book. Take that information and then capture that. So you've got that entire book and you've got the notes that you took on those specific pages. Take that and capture that, digitally. Write it down or whatever, so you can then condense the whole thing and say, this is what I got from that book. This is what I'm doing every time I read a book, so that it goes into my journal. I've now got, I don't know how many books, summaries, and the best ideas that I've got from those books in my journal, so I can go back and get thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of hours of other people's expertise right there at my fingertips just by reading through my journal. Okay, that's today's episode. As usual, go down there and post your comments. Let me know, what are you reading right now? What do you recommend that I should read? How often do you read? What are some of the techniques that you use to try and read and learn, more quickly and try and get more content in? Go down there, click and post a comment. You can also contact me over there, ask a question, or up there you can see Ask Michael. You can go and contact me that way. Friend me up, all these network sites, you know the deal. So you've been watching GetMomentumTV.com, and I'll see you on the next episode. And remember, it only takes a moment to create momentum.